wanna learn how to tie your shoe? It's a very easy thing to do. Just sit on down and I'll give you the scoop. What's that? It's called the loop-de-loop. You gotta take a lace in each hand. You go over and under again. You make a loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool.
We want to find the answer to the question, which method of tying your shoes is the fastest? The around town method or the bunny ears method? And is it affected by being blindfolded?
One day, Adrian and I both tripped over our shoes, and when we were tying them, we realized we tied them differently. Adrian ties his shoes in a really weird way. He uses the bunny ears method.
And Julia uses this really weird method called the around the tree method, and it's just really complicated.
So we just wanted to see which one was faster. Two methods of tying shoes were tested, and these two methods were again tested blindfolded. We took the best of 3 trials in terms of time from each sample. The results were compared in terms of time in seconds it took to complete the action of tying a shoe, and a 2-way ANOVA test was performed to interpret the results.
In this test, our dependent variable is the time it takes to tie your shoe in seconds. Our independent variables are tying style, bunny ears, or around town. The other independent variable is being blindfolded, either tying your shoes with the blindfold on or not.
We took a randomly selected person, asked them their preferred shoe tying method, and then had them tie their shoe using that method 3 times. We took the best of their 3 times. Then we asked them to do the same thing, except blindfolded. Again, taking the best of their 3 times.
We used a stopwatch to record each trial, and used a pen and pad to write down our results. We continued until we had 7 samples of people who used the bunny ears method and around town method, both blindfolded and not blindfolded. In our experiment, we had multiple possible biases. We had measurement bias, because there is human error in starting and stopping a stopwatch. A confounding variable in our experiment could also be the length of the shoelaces and the type of shoelaces that each shoe tyer had, as well as the size of the shoe tyer's hands could have affected the shoe tying time. We could have also exhibited sampling bias. Our shoe tyers could have had a bad round and skewed our data.
In order to control some of these biases, we made sure each person we sampled had cotton-like shoelaces, not leather shoelaces. Also, we had our shoe tyers get multiple chances to put up their best time, anticipating that they might mess up. We also attempted to time our subjects as best as possible.
Our null hypothesis is that the mean time to tie a shoe using the bunny ears method while not being blindfolded is equal to the time it takes to tie your shoes using the around town method and not being blindfolded. Our alternative hypothesis is that the null hypothesis is not true. Testing at an alpha level of 0.05, we got a p-value of 0.020493. Since p is less than alpha, we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is evidence to suggest that the mean time to tie a shoe using each method while unblindfolded is statistically different.
Our second null hypothesis was that the mean time to tie a shoe using the bunny ears method while blindfolded is equal to the mean time to tie your shoe using the around town method while blindfolded. The alternative hypothesis is that the null hypothesis is not true. Testing at a significance level of 0.05, we got a p-value of 0.286526. Because p is greater than alpha, we fail to reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is not enough evidence to suggest that the mean time to tie a shoe using each method while blindfolded is statistically different.
Our third null hypothesis is that there is no interaction between the shoe tying method and whether or not the subject is blindfolded or not. Our alternative hypothesis is that there is an interaction between shoe tying method and whether or not the subject is blindfolded or not. Testing at a significance level of 0.05, we got a p-val of 0.801292. Since p is greater than alpha, we fail to reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is no interaction between shoe tying method and being blindfolded or not when dealing with the time it takes to tie your shoe in seconds. In conclusion, our experimental results show that using the around-town method to tie shoes is actually faster than the bunny ears method. The ANOVA test supports this conclusion because the around-town method had a smaller average time than the bunny ears method, meaning the around-town method is faster.
Although the chart for whether or not a subject was blinded in the study shows that being unblindfolded results in a faster time, our ANOVA test led us to conclude that there is not enough evidence that the mean time to tie a shoe for each method is significantly different when a subject is blindfolded or not. Our two-way ANOVA test also led us to conclude that there is no interaction between being blindfolded and shoe tying method.
An interesting way to expand on this topic would be to use both shoe tying methods again, but instead of testing the time it takes to tie a shoe, we should test which method creates a stronger and longer lasting knot.
Another way to expand on this topic would be to test a specific type of shoe only. We could run a test on running shoes, shoes with laces, such as Sperry's, or more casual shoes with laces, such as Vans or Keds. Although there was enough evidence to show that my method, the round town method, was faster, and Adrian's bunny ears method is slower,
We're still friends.
yay!
Okay.
Want to learn how to tie your shoe? It's a very easy thing to do. Just sit on down and I'll give you the scoop. What's that? It's called the loop-de-loop. You gotta take a lace in each hand. You go over and under again. You make a loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool.